Welcome, everybody. It is already the 22nd of September 2023. And greetings from the Eastern Cape, from Tata. We are here. We are gathered here. We're going to do the Eastern Cape first celebration event here. And I'm just trying to confirm. It's the other side in Kobo, and the school's name is Nongwaza. It's a beautiful new school. I think the school is going to have a phenomenal event tomorrow. But if I look at all the number of teams that we have, we should actually have from each of the 13 schools 2 teams. We only have 1 from each team. This is their first celebration event, so we're doing it. We're going to go into it slowly, but exciting day for us here tomorrow. And yeah, Polani and Sylvia will be the referees, and Anzani and I are the head judges, and Pandile has volunteered to review the Explore teams together with Linda. So it's going to be, I think for all of us, it's going to be a hectic day. And we've got lots of volunteers who are going to have their very first judging event. But you know what? Everything's got to start somewhere. Everything's got to start from somewhere. All right. So that's for introductions. But thank you, everybody, for joining. Today, we've kind of moved already, and hopefully in your with your team as well, there's been progress, and we've done the project, and we've kind of unpacked that. We did the robot design. We did deciding how to move from missions to strategy, and so what we're doing now. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, sorry. Today is it's a different. There are so there's a sharing, and then there is presentation. And so the sharing is what your team has to do before you present your research at the competition. And really your sharing part is part of your presentation. You need to be able to share to adults. And so often when you come to judging and you ask the team, so who did you share your project with? They'll say, no, my sister or my auntie, or that's not sharing. So, all right. So really what we have now is we have sharing. Your teams need to be able to share their research, but they need to research it. They need to share it with adults, preferably people they don't know. Okay. And why do we share it? We share it so that there's a first level of we can do this. And the other one is to get feedback. All right. So I'm going to present a couple of notes. And then let's open the discussion. So let me just quickly, being attacked by a bird here, but anyway, document. And this is what today is about. Today is about sharing, and the team as a whole team needs to be able to share their innovation project. Okay, and this should happen before the competition. What you don't want teams coming to the competition and then just saying, well, we think as a research, this could be an idea. That's not what you want, okay? What you want is that everybody has a part in the research, and it's for real. Casper, just confirm that you can see my document.
Yes, Dr. Haas, I can see the document.
Okay, all right. So here are some tips about sharing before the competition. You have to find someone or someone's to listen to your team's presentation. And I usually suggest like the Rotary Club or the Lions Club, or maybe all the teachers in the staff room. Your learners need the opportunity to get an audience's attention. So they need to be able to talk to adults and say, there we go, and kind of explain. And also you need to get some valuable feedback, whether you do a Google form or you do a questionnaire that somebody needs to fill in, but you need some feedback that your team can include in their presentation to the judges on competition day. The other really important thing, and unfortunately this is going to become very stringent, you only get 5 minutes to do your research presentation, really. And judges have now got their cell phones. They say on your mark, set, go, and you've got to present your presentation in 5 minutes. In Wednesday evening's session, and I'm really, you coaches, please go and listen to the core values judging session from Wednesday night. Elmarie very clearly explained how the judging works, especially for the project, but how the core values work. The core values of this is us, and we do teamwork and we have fun, all that thing. There's no time for that. You're only going to get marked for your presentation of your research, and they really need to make sure, your team needs to make sure they make use of those full 5 minutes to get the judge's attention, and then also to make sure that everything is carried over. Okay. You use the sharing opportunity to learn and develop presentation skills, not all for all kids. The coming to a presentation doesn't come naturally. So use that as an opportunity to learn and develop presentation skills. And really, there needs to be some prototype. Okay, you cannot go into a presentation or even a sharing session and say, well, what we're going to do is we're going to build this and this and this, and we think it's like this, and everybody look to pie in the sky. That is not going to cut it anymore. All right, it needs to be real. So show a presentation. It doesn't need to be a life-size prototype. It also doesn't need to be a working prototype. But there must be something that your team members can use to share their concept. All right. And I've put the innovation project rubric next here. I'll discuss it just now, but I've put it here for a very important reason. Keep this as your guideline, okay? And you as coaches need to keep this as your guideline. This is the guidelines that the judges are also going to use when they ask your team questions. Okay. All right. So let's just moving on. So at a competition, and this is what you kind of have to prepare for your sharing opportunity. At the presentation of a competition for the judges, there needs to be a single sentence problem. So I am going to show my stamp collecting using virtual reality. I mean, like, how profound is that? But anyway, leave it like that. So that is my problem. People don't know about stamp collecting, so I'm going to use virtual reality to create interest in my hobby of stamp collecting. All right, show existing solutions. So this is all your solutions. You see, stamps usually come in albums, stamp comes in books, stamp comes in this. Okay, experts consulted. Name the people and have photographs, preferably. Okay, I'll send a 16-slide PowerPoint presentation. I actually have that, but it's at home on my other computer. So I will send that hopefully this week. Give them names. Don't just say my uncle and my grandfather. Give them names. Give them why they're experts. Why did you consult them? Because they are VR consultants. Okay. Yeah, they are VR experts, or they're a philatelist, and they have knowledge about stamps. And give them titles, give them names, give them photographs. Then you need to have details of the team solution. It's not okay just to have like, our team thinks we should do this. Full stop. There needs to be details, okay? And that's where the prototype comes in, to show. And again, it doesn't need to work, but you must at least be able to demonstrate. It gives the teams also something to hook onto. Remember, when they're being judged, they're all the judges are not known to them. And so for many children, that is really a stressful situation. If they have a prototype, and they're okay to explain what they see in front of them, then it gives them that confidence to say, we can do this. All right. And the next point, which a lot of my judges have asked me to put in, learners need to know what the cost is and the materials needed to implement their idea. Okay. But keep it real. You cannot have a team coming in and saying, well, our prototype costs R7.55. On which planet? Okay, you've got to keep it real. Say we need pipes and we need this and we need VR goggles, and the VR goggles, the best price we could get was Game, and they are, I don't know, $7.50 or whatever their price is. I don't even know. And we need this and we need that. Even if you have it on a page with some pictures to say, these are the materials we need. All right. After your sharing session, there should be some planned improvements. So you should be able to say, well, we presented it to the team at the Lions Club, and they suggested the following improvements to our plan. All right. Then there's already one iteration. And photos. Have teams in your presentation at the competition, have them sharing their presentation. Have them sharing their presentation. Have them showing their presentation, right? Okay, so 2 things in brackets. After the team sharing session with whoever, whether it's the old age home or whether it's the church or whether it's the SGB or whoever it is, or whether you have a community forum, the presentation must include this feedback, okay, and some evaluation and some recommendations. You cannot have the team just saying, well, we presented it, we shared it, full stop. There's no evidence of that, and so you have to have the evidence. And in brackets, I think I need to put it in 6 brackets and highlight it. A good idea to guide your sharing session, which is what we're talking about now, is to make sure that the team knows what is expected. All right. And you'll see on the rubrics, I'm going to come to it now as well. There's a beginning, a developing, accomplishing, and an exceed. All right. If it's your very first competition, developing is fine. Developing is fine. But look on the rubric. What does it need? What do you need to be accomplished? All right. Keep it real. Okay. Keep it real for your group. Keep it real for your team. All right. So this is the rubric, and you have to read this line here. It says, team had a clearly defined problem that was well researched. Okay. Now, you are probably going to get a problem not clearly defined if your team comes in and says, well, we have lots of hobbies and we think we can use technology. There is no problem. There is no solution. So that is very definitely not clearly defined. Okay. And there's definitely minimal research if you say we think we should use technology. And we've got lots of hobbies and we think we should use technology. There's no substance, there's no depth in it. All right. The next criteria is design. The team generated innovative ideas independently before selecting and planning which one to develop. Your team comes in and says, well, here's a video on my phone, and this is my stamp collection. No, not going to fly. All right. Next one, create. Team developed an original idea or innovative that's built on an existing idea. That's your innovation. Okay. That's something new. Well, if you're just going to show a video of somebody's stamp collection that's not yours, minimal. Okay. Iterate or sharing. The team share the idea, and that's what today is about. You've got to share your idea with somebody who's going to listen, and preferably a group or a collection of people. They must know that the team must know that they have their undivided attention, and they're going to share their solution. Okay. You can choose who your team wants to share it with. They preferably make the arrangement to share. Okay. And then communicate is how creatively you share your presentation. You only have 5 minutes. Okay. So if you're going to share about stamp collecting, you need to capture the judge's attention immediately. Then maybe have a big poster stamp on your head, or have a big poster here with a great big copy of a stamp, or I don't know, or have a whole lot of letters, or look like a postman, and if you're going to do skateboarding, then everybody must be on skateboards. Or if you're going to do fishing, then everybody bring a fishing rod. And no, not live fish. But you've got to capture the judge's attention. Test these ideas, how you're going to communicate when you share. All right. So when you share your ideas, use that as your platform to kind of have as a dress rehearsal for your presentation. Just on an aside, when you sit in a judging room and you listen to a team's presentation, you will quickly notice that they have had no experience and they have no idea what their research is about. All right, so let them use this opportunity then to share. I think we have a little bit of competition here.
I've got a photo shoot.
I've got a photo shoot going in the background, but anyway. Okay, all right, so there we go. Use the sharing, use the iterate as the sharing as your opportunity to prepare when you're going to communicate your presentation at the competition. Okay, and that's what we're going to do next week. But yeah, all right. And now I need to just move this down, what I wanted to tell you. All right, so if you go and look on your multimedia resources, it's called Project Presentation Tips and Tricks, and it's quite a long video. And it starts quite slowly, but by this time of the video, there's some really cool ideas. So if you've got nothing to watch in between rugby matches, I mean, there's a place to go. I don't know how many of you are doing have already progressed, or some of you might be struggling. I see some of you are still struggling with the project. Mr. Hino has got some really cool ideas. If you think that we're not guiding you enough and you need some extra kind of guidance, there's Mr. Hino. He's got some innovative ideas on Masterpiece. Yeah. But I mean, also he says, don't try and tell the whole world about your stamp collecting. Say, I want to share my stamp collecting ideas with a group of people. All right. I'd love to share my stamp collection. Oh, let me think, how am I going to do this? Okay. Last but not least, I heard this, and I don't know what it's about, but it was on ETV on Thursday morning, and Fugazi. It's called a Fugazi, and it's about Digital Innovation Festival. And it's in Johannesburg, and that's all I could catch. I could catch the name, but I was thinking if anybody's in Johannesburg and needs some inspiration, there is an opportunity. Yeah, I just added it for information purposes, and if anybody wants to go and have a look at that. All right, so moving backwards, there's Mr. Hino, and he's giving some really cool ideas in your multimedia documents under First Inspire's website. There is some really cool project presentation tricks and tools, which you can definitely use with your sharing. They also say, keep it real. Keep it real. Have a prototype that you've got something tangible that your team can share. You don't want just pie in the sky. We think it's a good idea. And a little YouTube video on your phone is not going to cut it. There needs to be evidence of research. The team needs to have learned something. Let's not stick to the normal. Let's give them an opportunity to reach out. All right. And I think I've covered everything. I really am encouraging you, use these criteria, but use a really cool opportunity to go and share your experience. Make a big deal about it. Go and share it with a radio station. Go and share it. I don't know. Just go and share it anywhere, but keep it real. Keep it real and make it a worthwhile experience. All right, because sharing is really ahead of presentation at the competition, and at the competition, it's it. That's crunch time. And so you would have, if you'd used the sharing opportunity to kind of iron out, what you could also do is use your expert, the person who helped your team. Maybe he has an audience of fellow experts that could maybe help. All right, that is my conversation. Are there any comments? I'm going to stop sharing now, and I'm going to ask, are there any comments, anything to add? Anybody really struggling? Anybody want to add? Elmarie, yes, Elmarie.
So just a comment, under rubrics for the innovation project, please note there's 2 lines under each heading that you need to be able to meet. So it's not 8 little blocks that you have for presentation. There's actually 2 sets of 4 that you need to complete.
Correct.
Or be able to present.
Correct. And for every line, your team gets an evaluation. Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. Today is really quiet today.
Holiday. It's actually
No sharing today. It was long weekend.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Okay. Okay. I see there's still a couple of teams who are sending me emails. I think the projects are going well, though. I think overall we've got the concept. There are some teams that claim they've got no hobbies or interests, and so they're taking their hobby or interest from a mother or a grandmother. That's fine. Yeah. But maybe also that is to say teenagers don't know anything about stamp collecting. All right, so I will focus my virtual reality of stamp collecting on teenagers. So it keeps it very narrow, very specific. So then I will find a bunch of teenagers and say, listen, I've got this cool idea, evaluate it for me. All right, so then it's kind of relative because they're the ones that are going to use it. Right. Anybody got any sharing ideas? And maybe just as a last point, let your teams practice. Okay, let them practice. Rather have more sharing opportunities than none. Let them share in front of their parents. because as Linda was also saying, many parents have no idea what their kids are doing. But maybe that's also an opportunity. Have maybe the Thursday before the competition, have a parents' evening and let the teams just discuss their project, let them do their robot rounds, let them tell them technically, I mean, how cool their robot is, take lots of photographs with everybody's parents. We need to build the confidence of our learners, and we need to give them as many opportunities as possible to share. What you could also do, you could write an article for the school newspaper, make it a fundraising effort. Offer every parent a biscuit and a cup of coffee or a hot chocolate or something like that, and say, come and listen to the profound robotics team of whatever school you are. And it's I don't know, R1 entrance, and you give them a hot chocolate and a cookie, and you say additional funds gladly accepted, and ting, and then your team has a fundraising effort as well. All right, and then it's a fun activity as well. Okay. All right. If there are no further questions, I really want to thank you for coming to this sharing opportunity. As I said in the beginning, please like our Facebook page. I said UNISA. Anzani said she would share some photographs with us. Eastern Cape have got their first celebration event, and it's quite emotional because they've worked very, very hard. And so we celebrate with the Eastern Cape, and here tomorrow, starting at 7:30 tomorrow morning. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good, and it's all good. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, team, for being in the meeting with us. Have a peaceful evening, and think of us tomorrow morning, and let your team share. Be proud of what they've achieved. Okay. Yes. Yay. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Thank you.